Hi everyone, my name is Saleha Singh and welcome to Gupshup with Saleha. Tonight we are chatting about jobs, what the current scenario is like, where to find jobs, how to update your CV and stand out, what you can do in the digital space, and what exactly are transferable skills. Meet my guests, Tanvi Mor, an HR professional and a community advocate, and Anuj Ghanekar, a senior manager at a multinational company. Welcome to the shows, guys. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Before we start with the questions, may I request you to say something about yourselves to our viewers? Anuj, let's start with you.
Thanks, Saleha, and thanks everyone, all the viewers. My name is Anuj, and I am working as a senior manager in an IT organization, multinational here in Melbourne. And I have been in Melbourne for last 4.5 years, roughly. And it has been a great experience working in Australia since I've been here. I've been here with family, and all good.
Thank you. Tanvi?
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Saleha, for giving us the opportunity today. Thanks to Icon Media as well. I think it's a great platform for us to share our experience. My name is Tanvi. I'm a master's in human resources. Did 3 years of experience in travel and aviation industry back in India, and then came to Australia in February 2008. Since then, have been working in the talent acquisition space. Across different industries and verticals. So I've got a lot of experience in the private sector, but for the last 4 years, 5 years, in fact, I've been working in the public sector, which I personally feel that I'm very passionate about. My most of the career happened to be in the recruitment side of things, happened to be on the technology side, so of IT and engineering. Outside my day job, I am equally passionate about some community projects that I do. So I try to create opportunities through my skills and strengths, and probably put maybe through events. Use my HR knowledge and share doing workshops for migrants and international students. I do a lot of mentoring on LinkedIn as well. And then currently I'm doing homelessness, awareness about homelessness through my social project called Remove Blindfolds. I just feel that Australia is a resourceful country. So if you have that willingness, you should put yourself out there and use your skills and strengths to be able to help each other.
Thank you, Tanvi. Thanks, Tanvi. Amazing work. Your community service. Really impressed. Anuj, I'll start the evening with questions for you first. So this morning I read on Channel 9 that the Victorian Treasurer Tim Pallis is expecting unemployment to peak at 11% in the September quarter. What is the current job scenario looking like?
Yeah, well, given the COVID situation, definitely job scenario, I mean, in one term or in one word we say, then it's challenging, no doubt. I mean, we all are facing it. That's the reality, no doubt about it. And I've been looking, I come from IT, so I can talk more on IT as well, but
Sure.
Primarily hospitality sector, let's say, or all these, if you go to the coffee shop and all these places where we go for consuming stuff, I mean, those are definitely impacted. And as you just talked about the numbers as well, even I was looking at Australia level also, it has been rising. We know that people, I mean, one thing is unemployment, but at the same time, we have underemployment also, which is not seen very clearly, but that's something to. But having said that, I mean, it is a challenging situation. But it's always like that. Every challenge comes with an opportunity as well, as we say, right? So the whole thing is that from our perspective, how do we react to the situation? How do we see things around us? And I think that's much to talk about, and then know from others as well what they are doing, and prepare ourselves. So yeah, I think it is challenging, but at the same time, it gives us an opportunity to explore ourselves, exploit our own capabilities, and do something different. So we need to be ready, prepared for that. So that's how I
Thank
look
you,
at it.
Anuj. Thank you, Anuj. Tanvi, where should one look for jobs? And in these times, how do you actually market yourself?
It's a very broad question, Saleha, and I
It
actually
is,
do
yes.
have, yes, I do have quite some information on this, and I'm hoping that it will be helpful for our listeners and audience here. So, you know how we call the word organizational awareness these days? These days, we actually use that word quite often. And similarly, I look at it from the candidate's perspective that they need to have employability, a self-employability awareness, okay, where they actually can look up their strengths and transferable skills before even they plan to apply for the jobs.
Yes.
That's how I look at it, right? So once you are ready with that, once you have done that homework where you've done your SWOT analysis and you've done your transferable skills understanding, that's when you start applying for the job. So I'm gonna talk. Actually, I actually made notes of some of the major websites that people can actually look at. So there are a few different ways that you can look for jobs. So the first one are the traditional websites, okay? But even in those websites, I'm not too sure if everyone is aware of the different initiatives that the government has started as well. So you've got your Seek, Career One, Career
Yes.
Jet, Indeed. These are the common ones. Then you have got
Jora.
another
Yep.
called edzuna.com.au.
Sorry.
Edzuna.com.au.
Okay.
That's a
Tanvi, just
great
a
tool.
moment. Yep. Yep. Sorry, Tanvi. I'm just going to tell our viewers to
Sure,
get a pen and paper, and if they can write
sure.
down these sites, although this will be available to them if they want to see it later.
Yep, yep,
Yep.
yep. We
Thank
can
you.
put that. We can share that on the comments
Yep.
section as well. So,
Yep.
so Career One, Seek, Career Jet, and Indeed. Probably most of the people would know about it. There is a website called Arjuna. Arjuna is a great tool where you can actually look about what your skill set looks like and what is the salary in the market. But it also connects literally connects thousands of jobs on one platform and have a smart way to filter your requirements. I
Okay.
do think that it will be great. It is a great tool for candidates to register their details on Edzuna. It's quite popular these days.
Okay.
Another one is Australian government portal, which is
Yes.
jobsearch.gov.au.
Okay.
That's again, that's a government portal. So government has probably all these agencies that are associated with the government, so they have put all those jobs there. There is obviously the state government websites in each state that
Yes.
people can go up to, and people can jobs.career.wig.gov.au, like that people can search for respective states. But a great initiative that was done by Victoria was working for Victoria. Working for
Oh, okay.
Victoria has
Yeah.
a platform where this is their initiative to be able to provide jobs to anyone and everyone who have lost their jobs because of COVID. So there is, the candidates have to register their details on Sidekicker. They'll be able to switch on the alerts, put their details in and have the alerts. So any that kind of the opportunity that they are looking for, they will get an email about it. But also they are able to apply for the jobs. And another good thing is they are able to do some quick short-term online courses. They are
Okay.
not huge courses. They are not 2 months, 3 months. They are very short courses, 2 days, 3 days. But those are the micro certification, which can really help them to have that additional value on their resume.
And are
The
these
second,
courses free? Are these courses
yes,
free?
yes,
They are free.
yes. Most of them are free.
Yep.
I'm not. There may be some specialized ones, but this is overall they're free to do it.
Sure. Yep.
Another platform are the specialized websites. So when you're looking for specific jobs, so your creative industry people, they have the Arts Hub. If you're looking for flexible working arrangements kind of a role, that's Flex Careers. For graduates, there is a grad connection, and there is Paddle, which connects the employers with the grads and the interns. So even for like 3 months opportunity for a grad, that can be a great platform for them. There is a job seeker in ethical jobs, which is purely for the not-for-profit organizations. There are spot jobs, which are for entry level and part-time job seekers. Then there is work fast, which is for labor hire, contract workers. So these are the platforms that people need to know, and all of those are available online. So if you Google, they will be able to come to know about these websites. The idea is to register themselves on those websites and get onto it. Look at what is available in the market. The third employer, the platform will be employer recruitment platforms. So if you're looking, if you are from IT industry, from a specific sales industry, it is a great tool where you register yourself directly with the employer rather than going through the websites, other seeker websites and media, because that ways you are able to reach out and apply for the jobs quicker than the other candidates. It gives you an added advantage. It also gives you an advantage to apply, to address your transferable skills, because there are some questions that direct employers ask to their candidates directly. So another platform for people to look out for jobs right now, which I can't talk enough, is LinkedIn. It is probably the strongest tool, and I'm sure Anuj will agree. It is the strongest tool for all our candidates to look for. So connect with recruiters, right? Look out for the jobs there. Couple of things that I would really want to say when they want to connect with recruiters. Please do not send your resumes straight away to the managers or recruiters without speaking to them. It doesn't serve any purpose. We may not have that kind of a schedule where we are looking for like 200 resumes online. So please do not do that. Do not send a message to recruiter where they say, can you please look into my profile and let me know if you have any jobs for me. It doesn't work like that. You need to do your homework. You need to do proper search, for the roles that you're looking for. And probably if you have questions, put out your questions. You'll have more probability of receiving a response from the recruiters and managers than simply doing that. If you have given a time to any manager or a recruiter that they have given you a time saying, please call me on that number, please make that effort to do that call. Otherwise, you lose on an opportunity which could have given you an additional benefit or probably a guidance in terms of, right? Another way you can use LinkedIn to look for jobs are some of the amazing networking groups, mentoring groups that people are running on LinkedIn right now. I would like to highlight 3 prime groups right now because they are doing amazing, and I probably know 2 of them personally. One is the Libby Mitchell profile and page. Libby, I worked with her in my current job. She does 2 minutes video for job seekers, for the interview tips, for the job hunting tips. They are quick, and those are so valuable that people can really connect with her and ask questions. The second is Nashad Gadani. He does your career down under. He started that on venture, but right these days he's career care package. Career Care Package does a lot of live sessions on LinkedIn where he is actually connecting a lot of experts on that platform with 360-degree of advice for candidates doing job search. The last one is Vinesh Balan. He helps migrants, students for jobs who are doing job hunting. He has recently started Job Search Like a Boss. I feel candidates really need to connect with these 3 primarily because they are offering extremely valuable service, and you will meet other people, you will network with them. That is the way for you to find out about more jobs. I'm sorry, there is so much information here, and I'm really hoping people get out of it. And the last one are the hashtags. These days, probably that is the quickest way. So even if you want to Google or on LinkedIn, just put in content. Under the content category, if you put hashtag and use the following one, you will see the jobs advertised from different corners of the country and probably the globe as well. So hashtag job opportunity, hashtag corona hiring, hashtag coronavirus hiring, hashtag now hiring, hashtag COVID hiring, hashtag recruiting, and hashtag vacancy alert. These are really really good tools for our job seekers to get onto, and probably very effective as well.
Okay. Thanks, Tanvi.
Thank
That
you.
was really informational and very helpful. I just want to tell my viewers that I can see all your questions. We'll come to them after we finish a few more questions from our guests. And then I will go back and answer each one of them. I'm sure my guests will do so. Thank you. Thanks for your patience. Um, Anuj, as a senior manager, what are you looking at when you're hiring?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, and yeah, appreciate what Tanvi just had us through. It was really an eye opener for me as well. I mean, sitting, on the other side of the table, how much
Yes.
it goes on in the background. I did have some idea, but definitely
Yeah.
great.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad, Anuj.
yeah. So yeah, good. So once I guess what Tanvi had just gone through, and I guess from recruiter perspective, when we advertise something, usually you may have, I mean, everyone may have seen what are the requirements, skill requirements, what's the background, all those things. So it gives a very clear idea, and that's how recruiter does it always. That what is needed. So from the candidate perspective, we need to be really responding to that point to point, make sure that it's not a big story around and try to make your case, but to be very clear on that. So now from the hiring part, when actually things have been, very first thing is shortlisting. Okay,
Yes.
so as we started with that, the scenario is challenging, and believe me, the challenging it has been, as far as I have seen after coming here, even otherwise, when I talk to my friends, many of friends, I mean, they have shared that, let's say 6 or 7 years back, when they were looking for a job, definitely within a week they had multiple offers, or at least they must have
Wow.
been interviewed and things like that.
Yes.
Based on where you are and what kind of profile you have, of course. So because the reason was, I guess, the competition, and we know because of the opportunities and skilled immigration, and we ourselves are in the market so much because of unemployment or underemployment. So for one opening, we have multiple resumes there, right? I mean, there are so many candidates where I
Of
have
course.
to
Yes.
competing with, and that's where all those tips what Tanvi was mentioning, those are really very nice to follow. So from hiring perspective, once I have those resumes, I may have to shortlist also. It comes to me, right? So I look at that, how pertinent or how exactly. So a
Yes.
few things to start with. What I look at, very first thing would be, of course, the skill match. What I am looking for, does this person possess those skills and the experience and things like that. So those are the primary, of course. What kind of work this person has done in this particular area, and there what happens, there are two kinds of things. One thing is the technical need, what I have, right? If I talk from IT, then if I'm looking for a Java skill, I'm looking for .NET skill, or I'm looking for data sciences related skills and things like those. Those are very particular. So I'll specify, and I can very well categorize whether this person has the skill or not. And then I start talking to that person when I call. The other thing is, which is, let's say, soft skill. you know this person may have worked in certain other industry also, or certain other work environment, and what's the performance, how is this person has done. So while hiring, I look at the direct skills, technical skills, I look at the soft skills, and there will be different criterias. And then when you interview, then what we look, I mean, currently maybe I'll do it as video, right? Otherwise we do it very much face to face as well, based on where the person is, and things like that. So one has to be really very brief in answering to the point. Other thing I have seen, and I was quoting to some of my friends as well, and then especially being an Indian, we are quite emotional on things, while answering questions. So if I don't know something, then it's really difficult for me to say, "Oh, sorry, I don't know." But it's okay. It's okay to say that, okay, I don't know this, and
Yes.
focus on things what my capabilities are. Because from hiring perspective, I think my approach has been to ask someone what he knows, what I have gone through in his resume or curriculum, what he has mentioned, not to check on what or he or she doesn't know. It doesn't make any sense, right?
Sure.
So if a person has written, okay, I have done these projects in these particular areas, in insurance, banking, retail, or any other, or a particular technical, then I would like to know what exactly this person has mentioned knows in detail or not, and whether it matches to my requirements or not. So a message that if even if when I'm interviewing someone, and if I don't select someone, it doesn't mean that that person has done bad. Not necessarily.
It just
It,
means
it,
someone's
it,
better.
that's one point, and second point, possibly it doesn't match to what I require.
Yes.
So person may be good at A, B, C, but unfortunately I'm looking at D, E, F, or X, Y,
Of
Z, or
course.
something of that. So not to get disheartened, but be very clear. Communication has to be good. Presentation is very good. I mean, has to be really nice, because it gives a perception. It forms, because how much? I mean, maybe half an hour, 1 hour maximum. We do talk, right, based on the time slot what we set. So it's important the time which is given, how much I utilize, how do I optimize and make sure that I do the best while there. So these are some hiring techniques. Other than that, I mean, there are so many things what we go uh, preparing on the questions, and and then people respond to that. But it's very easy to find out as well from hiring. One who is doing hiring or may have interviewed multiple people, you can very easily make out that who has really the strength, what are the
Yes.
strengths, and just faking on something. So it's very important.
Yes.
Thanks,
Okay.
Anuj. This question is for you, Tanvi.
Sure.
And it is also somebody who has asked me this question. So I'll put it on the screen. I'll ask you the question first. Where should one look for jobs? You've already talked about that. And how should one market themselves? Okay.
Yep.
Can you
How should
please
I?
advise us? Sorry, I'll just read out what Ashish is saying.
Yeah.
He wants to know, can you please advise us on how to write our CV? What to include? Should we hire a professional to look at our CV? Can I just say here, I'm happy to help with people with their CVs. Please contact me on the Icon website, and I'll happily do it for some of the people. I can't do it for everybody, but I'll do for some. So, Tanvi, over to you.
Fantastic. Great question, Ashish, because I think we always, we've come, we've have a particular um, perception about CVs in our mind, what it can be, what it can't be, and all of that. And but what the first thing that I've learned when I came to Australia is how different the CV can look from my home country, where I've got
Yes.
the other experience from this country. So I'll try to take a more pragmatic approach about because, as you mentioned, in terms of how we need to present ourselves, right? So I can't agree. I couldn't agree more with Anuj when he says that technical skills, and then he's trying to look at the soft skills as well, because the idea is for us is to get the best out of you and not to grill you, right? That is the idea. So you have to take that into consideration. So the way I put down is, you've got your CV and your cover letter. That is the skeleton of your work piece. Okay, and I'll expand on it. The second is your LinkedIn, where you put a little bit more flesh onto what you have done. And the last thing that comes to interview, where finally you have to join the dots and articulate. So I can't emphasize enough to people that please do create your LinkedIn ID and it is more than, that's your visibility right now, right? So make it look more than just a piece of paper, right? So talking about the CV, that is the space where you talk about your qualification, what you have done, where have you done, and the timeframes. Okay. Your LinkedIn is an opportunity and a platform for you to use and write your transferable skills from that particular space to this particular space, right? So tell a story here. Do not copy and paste your resume on your LinkedIn profile. Okay, things that you have learned, you have developed. Share your pictures and images of the presentations, the projects that you have done, any voluntary work that you do. So have videos in there. Make it look something interesting for people. Why I'm saying is that these are the days when just a piece of paper is not enough for us. And after the interview, or for the interview, we may straight away head on to the LinkedIn and wanting to look, what the candidate looks like, right? Because the social media profiles tells a lot about you to us. How active you are, how community conscious you are, what are the values you live by, what are the posts you have written. It is also a great piece to have your presence there. So when you comment on other people post, your presence increase. So how he said that, you're looking for a professional look. You never know, among those people who are looking at your comments, somebody may approach you, or you may want to approach somebody to look at your CV there, right? To find out, these days I know that a lot of people on LinkedIn have advertised or put up a post saying they're happy to help people for free. They're happy for candidates to consult. So have that LinkedIn profile. In a way, invest a good amount of time on LinkedIn, right? Now, as Ashish said, what to write on your resume. So when we talk about your resume, the foremost thing that I have to talk about is email address, especially people coming from South Indian community. We can have all weird kind of email addresses on our resumes, but if you want to set a tone of what you are all about, please have a professional and a sober email address. It is really important. Okay, do not ignore that. When talking about your resume, there are candidates who write full address. There is nothing wrong with it, but even if you write suburb and the state, that is enough. We don't need exact street address. What we're trying to know is what is the distance you're going to be covering, and if you don't have to spend too much time on your traveling. That is the concern from a recruiter point of view, right? So have your address, just a suburb and the state is enough. If you are not from, if you're a migrant, it is great to have just mentioned there in the header, you have full working rights, whether you write citizen, whether you write permanent resident. You do not let that hanging on the recruiter to find out, to call you what is a working status you have, right? So straight away say full working status, and that's enough for most of the jobs. If the job requires that you need to be Australian citizen or permanent resident, please mention that. That avoids that one step, right? In terms of the content, when you're talking about your, I'm talking from Australian resume format point of view for everybody's knowledge. So have your qualification right on the top. So you can always talk about your summary, what professional line you belong to. So 2-3 lines there, what is the career objective, but have it in a way which is more relatable and meaningful. Do not have an absurd ad hoc senseless line which doesn't make any sense, right? So have it more purposeful. Have your qualification there. Then talk about your technical and non-technical skills. So what Anuj was talking about, soft skills. So those are the transferable skills that you can list into columns and categories or however you want to present. Capabilities is what we call core competencies. Then when you start talking about your summary, when you talk about the organization that you have worked in, have one line about that organization. Not every recruiter might be aware of every industry that you have worked in. So if I do not know what the company I've worked in, I may not be able to relate. So that one line, whether it belongs to a manufacturing industry or it's a pharmaceutical or it's a banking domain, that is really straightforward, saying this is coming from the financial or they are coming from the financial. Talking about the responsibilities, I think it's a great idea to put responsibilities in 3-4 points, nothing more than that. Do not have 10 points because I don't think so. We have that much time to read 10 responsibilities. Have 3-4 main. Talk about your achievements. And those achievements do not have to be bombarded big achievements. It can be little small things like streamlining the process, which has ultimately ended up improving the efficiency of a particular department or a business group. So have those achievements there, whether it's in terms of the data, the result, whether it's in terms of the improvising the process, whether it was in terms of managing a conflict or hitting the ground straight away. You have just joined. I know in one of my role, I was given 27 jobs on the first day to recruit for. I had to hit the ground straight away. So it is, I put that in my achievement because I took all of that on board and straight away went with it. So have those achievements there. Have the volunteer work, please, on your resume. It's extremely important. When we say hobbies, you don't need to have your personal details, your mother's name and your date of birth. Talk about your interests. Talk about what excites you. So maybe sports, maybe an extracurricular activity that you do, because I'm sure Anuj will agree that really tells saying you're active. You are more than about just 9-to-5 job that we look for. We're not looking for a robot here. We're looking for somebody who can think out of the box, who has that initiative, who has that drive and commitment to do the job. So those are the things that will really put in a neat and a clear manner. Make sure that you have got little spaces in between the bullet points. Do not make it a too long 5-6 pages resume. No typos, no grammar, because if you write excellent communication skills and eye for detail, and then you have all those mistakes on your resume, it straight away put the recruiter off from the overall assessment. Understand the keywords that the job description has and try to have those in your qualification in your resume. Your qualification matters. And yes, you can definitely go ahead and share it, approach a professional to look at it. At times, you can even share it with your family member or a friend just to cross-check it, because at times when you're creating, you can get too much into it. You may not be able to see the mistakes. So even cross-checking it with another team member is a great idea to see how the format looks. Is it short? Is it crisp? Like that. So those are the few elements that that probably a resume should include, and in the way it will stand out. With the cover letter as well, I will straight away talk about, because most of the companies do ask for cover letter. If it is a simple cover letter, just have it in one page summary of your skills and the strengths and the transferable skills that you can bring. It is a great opportunity to pick up the words from the position description and describe here how you can relate to those skills and how you're able to perform those skills. If you are asked to address key selection criteria, that is another big space. I think it's people, including me, I used to get very scared of KSC. Oh my God, this is time taking. This is going to take 3 days for me. But candidates need to take that as an opportunity to put themselves out there. Else, it could be just recruiters' own assessment saying, control find, or these are not the words in the resume, I'll not do it. I'll not select them. But key selection criteria gives you an additional opportunity to demonstrate your capabilities, your experience, and stand it out from the other candidates. So those are the few points I would say in resume. So, and that you have to ensure that your information on resume and your information on LinkedIn is connected. So you're actually able to articulate both of it at the time of the interview. That is the value add.
Thank you, Tanvi. This next question is for Anuj. Anuj, this is a question from one of our viewers. Nikita wants to know that she for 5 months. She has experience of as a project manager at a multinational company. And what are your suggestions? Do you think jobs will pick up after Christmas?
Saleha, sorry, I lost a bit.
Okay.
I couldn't hear your question completely.
Okay. So Nikita says she has been in Australia for 5 months and she has experience in project management and she's worked at a multinational company. She obviously at the moment she doesn't have a job. And what are your suggestions? Do you think that the job market will pick up after Christmas?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's sure. So, Nikita, I mean, this question is pretty generic in a way. So, a couple of things I'll say. If you are new, I don't know, if you are new to the Australia, what happens that in Australia, I have seen even myself after coming here, one thing which is prominently looked at in your profile, what kind of Australia experience you have. Point number
Local
one. So
experience, yes.
local experience, what we talk. So not to worry, because even when the job market, so-called, we had good time at that point of time as well. I mean, if you are fortunate enough, you got the job very easily. But it took my colleagues, and I know friends, those 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, also at times. So the point is, keep cool, keep trying, and definitely Tanvi's suggestions are great. Coming back to the question regarding the job market, I mean, we all are speculating. Regarding IT, I can tell, and actually from the first question also, Saleha, what you had asked, and I was going through different websites and reports. Uh, Interestingly, LinkedIn, okay, and LinkedIn definitely, it's from IT, everyone knows it has reported around 17% increase in IT jobs here in Australia.
Wow. Okay.
There are some, while I was looking at Seek and other websites where they are saying that, so it's a mixed bag. And I know from my work environment and from other work environments also, there have been redundancies and things like those. So this thing will continue. But at the same time, there are new jobs also that they are coming into the market because of one thing very easily I can see, digital transformation. So many companies, those who had been on that path and worked on digital transformation, so it's not that difficult for them. But there are companies which are going into digital transformation. So Nikita, from your perspective, keep looking. There are companies which are hiring, and if they are going for any kind of job, then definitely, you got to have a person who manages it well. So try to look at the job, look at the stuff, from the requirement, and look at what you have done. Exploit your references or contacts, what you may have here. And as Tanvi was mentioning, be active on LinkedIn as much as you can. Definitely, I mean, unfortunately, if we talk about, again, Melbourne, unfortunately, we got wave 2, and you don't know how things will be, so it has slowed down. Otherwise, things were opening up. And government is doing tremendous job, I must say. Look at the communication and job seeker and job keeper kind of thing. So definitely everyone is ready to go once things start. Things will be slow. And we do talk about the new normal and then things like those. So there'll be opportunities. There are still opportunities. I can tell you, I mean, there are still opportunities if you look around and go with the suggestions what Tanvi has said. You can still find a lot of things. I know, just one quick point I'll take. Unfortunately, because of Melbourne, it's a bit slow, but it will open up.
Yes.
There are a lot
But
of
now you
jobs
can,
in Sydney and other places. There are. I mean, I know people, those who are getting jobs there.
and now you can work from home from anywhere. That's the new
There you
normal,
go.
isn't it?
There you
Yes.
go. That's the new normal.
So
So
I have, yeah,
I
sorry.
think
No.
it's no. I think it will open up, and not only I think, I'm pretty sure things will open up. I mean, post Christmas, as usually it does.
Yes. This is a question, and I don't know who will answer. This is from Paraminder Singh, and he wants to know what's going to happen to the real estate industry. I don't know what I said. Who would like to answer?
I'm looking for that answer myself. Maybe.
I suppose all of us are, because now you have remote viewing, and but I'm sure things will. I mean, we all live in hope, isn't it? I'm sure things will get better. I mean, state 4 restrictions are tough. I haven't seen my girls in 6 weeks, so I'm sure all of us are doing it tough. But the economy has to go on, and I'm sure people, the government's also taking cognizance of this. It will not be shut down. So, Parinder Singh, please keep faith. It will happen. All of us are in the same boat.
Yeah, Saleha, I personally feel it depends. Every industry had got a setback, but every industry is trying different methods of coming back. Okay.
Yes.
Now, real estate industry hasn't stopped its operations. They are doing virtual
Yes.
house inspections. They haven't stopped auctions. They're still going for one-on-one inspections that used to happen probably few years ago, where you could just get the keys from the office and go and see the apartment, the house. So I don't think so. They have stopped their operations. It may have these. This is too new for every single business operating in the world today. So, but every business is, they are trying to say what are others doing, right? And they're adopting to the technology, and it may take some time for people to say, okay, this is the next steps that we have to take, and this is the way we have to plan. So definitely, I don't think so real estate industry gonna diminish anywhere.
No,
It's
it
not
won't.
gonna
Yes,
happen.
no.
No,
Oh
it
no.
won't. So it's just about a matter of time, about effective ways each industry can come up with how they can operate. I Would you ever imagine not going to Myers or David Jones gonna stop shopping? No, they are as busy as before with the deliveries today.
Yep.
Nothing has stopped.
Online shopping is, yes.
Online shopping it has increased with a huge percent. So
Yeah.
Alibaba is flourishing right now
Yep.
from every aspect. So
Yeah.
uh,
And then
literally,
very true.
yeah. So Param, there is absolutely all hopes out there. So
Okay. Anuj, this is for you. Uh, we have gone
uh,
way beyond our
yeah.
scheduled time, but we'll we'll continue. Deepa says she lost her job due to COVID-19 and she's clueless as to what to do next. Her background is in IT.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. Literally in IT, because IT is a wide sector.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing I can suggest, and I mean it applies to me also, honestly, because I have seen myself the bad days. So a few things going by my experience, and I do see it others as well. First of all, first and foremost, don't take it as a taboo. Okay, because we first thing that brings our morale down, thinking that there's something big or something wrong has happened, completely wrong. It's not good, unfortunate, but possibly from IT perspective, it is. We have been seeing it for a few years now, and it's going to be there, and it's none of your fault, because of redundancy and because of the way business is functioning, it's happening. So what she needs to do, diversify. I mean, if you are in testing, uh, there are many people who are in testing world, there are many people who are in development world, there are people who are working on management and things like those. So couple of things what you can do that diversify, and there are many certificate courses, there are different courses also where you can train yourself. So while you are looking for job, and all the suggestions what you may have seen coming from Tanvi, make sure that you diversify your area. Don't stick to just one thing and then think that, okay, opportunity will come and then I'll grab it. For example, if I'm in a testing world, I'm just taking an example, and based on my expertise and what I have done earlier, if I want to get into some coding related areas also, because anything hands on, can I go into DevOps area, can I develop my skills into, because every company is going in digital way today. Okay, so those are the technical aspect. If I am from a business side, what is my expertise, can I explore that, can I expand that, so that I'm able to relate to the job opportunities which are coming. So these are a few things, and there is no one straight answer to this, but the crux is that how can I diversify and make myself more marketable, more sellable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saleha, can I add a couple of points here, because
Yes,
I feel a
sure.
lot of people
Absolutely.
will be in this. Yeah, a lot of people will be in this situation right now. So when and Anuj has talked about from technical perspective, how you need to diversify. But from non-technical perspective, it becomes extremely important for them. Anybody who has lost the job right now, one, Do not compare yourself with anybody else. Everybody's situation is extremely different. Uh, Connect with people who have been in similar situations, but also have crossed that stage. That will give you with motivation, but also some tools that they had they had used to overcome and get another job, right? And third is anything right now, if it is a blockage for you, whether it is social media, whether it is your peer group, when you start thinking this is what's happening with them and this is not happening with me, I'm not getting this, they are getting it, please remove it.
Yeah.
Your self-care for this kind of a situation where you have all those that kind of a stress on your mind, you have to remove your blockages and have more positive things in front of you to be able to look that way, because that ways you will be able to change your perspective, you will be more open mind to see what you can do. And I think that's one thing with us Indians specifically, where we are so we have done a particular job for all these years and we have got all that experience that we get so box minded that we don't want to do anything else. You have to open your mind, whether it's about industry, whether it's about function, whether it's about your capabilities. You may have to learn, you've never done business development or initiative and accountability kind of things before, but you may have to start thinking about those. So you have to think about your capabilities as well, how you can transfer those skills to another industry.
And can I add one just on a lighter vein? I keep talking about it because what happens, we usually start boiling the ocean because and react differently. So what Tanvi you're saying is very important, and it's a joke I have seen in one of the clips in the movie as well, that there are two friends running, going in the jungle. A lion comes or a tiger comes in, and they start running. So one of them start tying the shoelaces. So this guy says, "Why are you tying your shoelaces? Aren't you afraid of your life?" He said, "No, I don't have to outsmart the lion. Rather you. If I'm running faster than you, that's enough." So it's a kind of cruel joke, but this is what one has to keep in mind, that you don't have to beat 100 people or 1,000 people in the
Yes.
market. Just
Not right
focus
now.
small, take small steps, and then keep your morale high. So
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, Tanvi, this one's for you from Gurpreet.
Yeah.
What are the things we should prepare for the first interview? Also, I get very stressed before the interview. Is there something I can do to get rid of this? And she says, great job, all of you. Thank you, Gurpreet. We try our best.
Thank you.
And thank you to my guests. Without them, I would not have been able to do anything. So,
pleasure.
thank you.
No, that is great feedback. Thanks very much, Gurpreet. All right. Whether I can tell you, Gurpreet, whether it's a first interview or the 50th or a 500th interview, it doesn't matter. We will always have nerves, irrespective of how much experience we have. So do not consider that you have not been interviewed before, you will have a different kind of nervousness. It doesn't work like that. Okay. The idea is to prepare extremely well. So have that self-awareness. How much time do you need for the prep? Are you somebody who's literally can grasp all of the knowledge and think about all the things right on the last day and start doing it? Or do you want to start preparing, few days before, depending on when you get the call? So have that self-awareness, and the more prep you give, the more time you give to the prep, better it will be for you to be able to control your nerves, because you will become confident. It is just about that. Little things you cannot ignore and leave it until the last moment. What you're gonna wear, what is the address, now that you don't have to. But today, if you don't have to reach another address, you are doing on technology. Technology can go wrong like that. And if you are not able to log in and have technology difficulty for the first 15 minutes, that can increase your nerves during the interview. So have that interaction with the recruiter, because I know that if any candidate tells me, Tanvi, I'm not too sure about my system or my laptop, can I try a day before or half an hour before? I'll be more than glad to come and test it. Okay. So do not ignore the technology issues today, which is very, very important. Do your homework, learn about the organization. Are your values, learn about their values, because everything that you say should be in alignment, not in a fake sense, but in a genuine and authentic manner, in alignment with what organization does, because then you'll be able to demonstrate more positively and more confidently. It will come from you. So learn about the organization. Do not hesitate. If you this is your first interview specifically that you ask, when the recruiter calls you and straight away tells you these are the details, do not hesitate to call them back and ask for some guidance. Ask them, do you have any tips? How should I prepare? Where can I look for some information in relation to this particular role? There may be a business page in the organization, so you will be able to have more insight into what kind of projects they do, what is the role entails. And probably I know that I'm always forthright if the candidate asks in terms of how they need to prepare for the interview. What is the style of the interview? Do the panel need more comprehensive responses, or they need quick responses, crisp responses? So do we need to follow a particular technique like STAR technique? So have that conversation with the recruiter. That will help you to go back and do your homework. And then my personal technique that I use, it works most of the time, which is anything that I've done and I want to demonstrate, I write on paper. I write on paper because it clearly tells me what am I bringing on the table. The more you write, more aware you will become of the work that you have done, the experience that you have, the capabilities that you have, the strengths that you can bring. So give a lot of time to the prep as much as you can, and then do not ignore the trivial things. Be prepared about the technology. And if nothing works, have options. It can be a phone. If the technology doesn't work, we can always interview over the phone today. So, have those, and please do have a glass of water with you always when you're interviewing. At the time of the interview, one of the major things that I feel very helpful is please give pauses. Use the pause technique. Do not rush and roll into your interview. Give a pause to say, understand what the panel is asking. The questions are very important for you to be able to listen to. So have that presence of mind, but that will be if you have slept better the day before. And if you have done that 2-3 days of preps and not everything on the last day, it will really help you calm your nerves. And I personally recommend everyone to do a meditation. I personally feel that 10 minutes of, when I say meditation, it may be just sitting in silence the night before, when you have done everything. Give yourself that time and have that self-belief that this is what you have applied for. This is what you want to do because you strongly believe that this is what you're suitable for. So have that self-conflict, because that will just help you balance and put everything together. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanvi. I think I have lots and lots of questions, which is going to take another hour, which we can't afford to. It is gone way beyond. So maybe we can have another conversation in a couple of weeks' time if you guys are happy with it. I'll keep these questions, not promising anyone. Somebody who has asked for jobs, no, sorry, guys, we can't help anyone get a job. We can just suggest what you can do. As I said, we'll keep the questions. Hopefully, we'd be able to answer it. I will have to come back to you whether my guests are available for a second session. If they are, we'll come back. Again, no promises, but for tonight, we'll have to, I think, just end it there. Sorry, guys, if I haven't been able to answer your questions, if my guests haven't been able to answer my questions, apologies on their behalf. We've just gone way. We are touching 1 hour for a half an hour program. So thank you very much, Anuj, Tanvi, for coming to my show.
Pleasure. Really pleasure.
Thank you to all my viewers thank you for coming. And to all my viewers, thank you for the lovely comments that you have for me. I couldn't have done it without you. Stay well, stay safe. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.